G'day, Josh here with a bit of a different video today. You can see here that we have the information on the latest app update that has hit both the Apple stores and the Google Play stores. So we're going to just sort of go through an overview of what has been added to the game. Obviously there's been bug fixes, that happens in every app update, but there are some other little tidbits of information, especially in this little what's new text. Let me read through this real quick for you. Introducing campaign lineups where you can create multiple lineups for different challenges like the limited time Halloween special event. So we're going to get into that because that gives us a couple of bits of info that we didn't necessarily have. We've also added a daily login reward and improved gameplay on the court. So those two things I have touched on a little bit. If you keep up to date on in terms of my social channels on Instagram or Twitter, you would have seen some stuff, especially regarding that daily login reward. So let's jump into the app now and I'll show you the daily login reward. That one's an easy one. If you haven't already seen that, this is it here. It's the countdown to tip off. So if you log in 10 days in a row, you earn yourself an 80 overall trending player, which is awesome. I'm already 3 out of 10 days there, so I've got exactly a week to go. And if we go to the auction house and we look at the trending players that are available in store packs at the moment, we'll limit that to 80 over only. You'll see the options that you will possibly earn. Ooh, that's interesting. There are no 80 overall players up, actually. I think they're all 81 plus. So maybe we can't actually see what we'll earn. I don't think we're getting these. We must be getting new 80 overall players that will drop in a week, so we can't actually preview what those will look like. So that's a little bit interesting. But if we just quickly jump back to the App Store to look at that first sentence again, introducing campaign lineups. Now, what does that mean? If you guys follow Brian on Twitter, the lead content designer of this game, he did break that down in a little bit more detail. Essentially, we're going to be getting lineups that are specific to campaigns, and you'll need to go through the challenges using a campaign specific lineup. So what that means, if we move back to the app, we go into campaigns. Let's say, for instance, there's a new campaign that comes out. And we'll just use a rocket launch campaign as an example, but let's say it's a Halloween campaign that was also spoiled there, which will be coming soon, and I can't wait for that. Theoretically, you would be playing through all these challenge events with a lineup specific for that campaign. Most likely that means it will only take campaign specific players. So it'll only take, for instance, Halloween program players. This is kind of a throwback to season 1 when every now and again some programs would unlock a 6th lineup, and that 6th lineup would only accept program players. And I think the Balloween program, I think, actually had that sixth lineup unlocked back in season 1. That was the Halloween program back then, and so you would fill that lineup up with program specific players, and in this case we would then use that lineup to complete the campaign. So that is going to be really, really exciting. And obviously the App Store update also touched on the fact that there will be a Halloween campaign coming, so I cannot wait for that. I'm not sure when it drops, but obviously Halloween's still a few weeks away, so I don't expect it too quickly. We've got tip-off coming soon as well, so we've got heaps of new content to look forward to. I cannot wait for the regular season, the NBA season, to start, both in terms of the NBA and in terms of in-game content. And the other thing I want to show you, and I'll use a season game to show this off so I don't really worry about the score too much, is a pretty significant change to the way that the shot meter works, and primarily on 3-point shots. It has now been updated so that it shows a green perfect shoot area. So if we can get the ball, let's get it to Harden, we'll get it inside, a mid-range shot, here we go. So that was wide open, 22%, and you can see that that perfect release zone was green as opposed to yellow. This is the way that it used to be, so it has been reverted back to green. But if we actually extend out beyond the 3-point line, it's no longer as big as it used to be, and it's a bit harder to get that perfect release. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm a little bit torn. On one hand, it's like, well, we had a bigger area for so long, and now we've kind of had something removed. On the other hand, it kind of forces you to be a little bit more skilled in terms of shooting. So I'm going to run into the bottom corner to shoot a 3, and you'll see what I mean. There is now a much smaller perfect release zone, which I did manage to hit, and I get that to go. Now, there's a couple of different elements with this. Now, if a defender closes you out when you are mid-shooting animation, that green zone will actually turn yellow and it will reduce your percentage likelihood of making a shot because the defender closed out as you were going up for that shot. So that's one thing to be aware of. Another thing to be aware of, and I'll use Simmons as an example as he's a lower rated 3-point shooter. If Harden moves out of the road, we'll use the bottom corner again. Harden's not going to move. All right, we'll go up here. And we pull the trigger on that. He only had a yellow perfect release zone. And it was only 14% when I hit that perfectly, which I can't believe I managed to do. So that means that lower rated 3-point shooters, and we'll get it back to Simmons and we'll try the top corner this time. The top corner, once again, it's a bigger area, but it's still yellow only. So that means that lower rated 3-point shooters won't get the chance to hit a 20% perfect release. They sort of cap out because their rating isn't as high. Can we contest that shot? Oh, we get it. But if we run Harden back into the corner, and hopefully someone contests a shot so I can kind of show you what it looks like when that changes. You can see that Harden has the opportunity to go for the extra 6% essentially of a perfect release, as opposed to someone like Simmons who can cap out at 14% bonus. Harden can get up to 20% bonus. So that's a pretty significant change in terms of the shooting percentage and the shot meter and the way that low or high rated 3-point shooters can sort of cap out on their perfect release bonus. So I think that was definitely worth showing you guys, give you an example of what that looks like. And that is exactly what that looks like in action. It's going to take me a little while to get used to. I think it's to encourage a wider variety of shots, not just 3-pointers, but I think there are some other things that need to be fixed in terms of gameplay to assist with that, such as passing and contested shooting and things like that, but we can get into that in another video. So that is an overview of what has been added to the game in the most recent app update. Make sure to update in the store if you haven't already. I think overwhelmingly the changes are quite positive, and I cannot wait for the Halloween program and for all of the tip-off content to hit us very, very soon. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this sort of content and you want to see more in the future.